This podcast may contain views and opinions which are those of the hosts and do not necessarily reflect the official policy or position of any local agency, organization, union, employee, or company, including the podcast.
All right. Welcome back to Off the Clock Shop Talk. Say that how many times fast? 3, 5, whatever. I don't think it's doable. Anyways, OCST, we're back. Episode 8, 9, whatever. We're on 8. I think we're on 8.
I think we're on 8 now. Yeah.
I don't even think, I think after a while we're just going to forget. So we're just back. Sabas is over there.
Is that what you did when we were starting?
So obviously he's holding up the strike sign from our OC. He's striking OCST. Yes. OCST denies dignity? Really? Wow.
You shut the fuck up, Valve.
You shut that valve off now.
Officially on strike.
Holy shit.
I love it.
Okay, well, that sign did say OCTA. So obviously, we'll touch base on that. That will be our first topic is striking, since Sabas wants to go on strike. He's obviously in another mood. I don't know if it's a hangry mood or...
I don't think it's hangry. I think he's serious.
Yeah, I think he's just in a mood. He's tired. This is tired, Sabas. I've ran into this guy before, so don't pay him too much mind. But striking, right? We just hot off the OCTA strike line. Sabas was out there. Myself was out there. George was out there last Wednesday. What was the date? I don't remember the date.
I think it was the 3rd.
The 3rd.
Yeah.
George was out there as well. We did have a couple UPS guys come out and support, which is always welcome. I know I told the guys at our Teamster Tuesday, come out if you can, if you have the time. Obviously, right now, as of right now, I should say, we have paused the strike. They are back at the table. We'll see if the strike goes back on. I think, there was a couple reasons why, one of them being election day, that they went ahead and let the buses run and make sure people could vote. I know it was 4 days without bus service for the whole county of Orange.
That was already a nightmare just in itself. People just couldn't get to work. And I understand that wasn't the OCTA was trying to flip it and saying why would the union do this? It's well, if you would just give them what the basically just asking for very simple and things that other companies are giving.
Yeah.
So it's why won't you just, help your employees so they can survive and drive your buses and make you more money?
This is the trend, though. I mean,
it is the trend.
It is the trend. Companies are kind of moving away from wanting to be, the top payer, or wanting to be, not that they ever did, but, companies are really moving away.
They're
from
really going towards a profit-based mentality.
Driven, yeah.
Yeah, it's insane.
Greed.
Yeah.
Greed. Anything else over there, Valve?
I guess anytime we call him that, he's in a...
Blowing off some steam.
Go fuck yourselves.
All right. Anyways, so, we all got to experience the strike line, and I know for myself, it's actually the first one that I've actually been on taking place, especially for that long of a time. I think I had a couple other experiences, but really short. So we were out there for, 8 hours shifts. Everyone kind of took a shift, and we were all out there working that strike line. Yeah,
it doesn't do anything if if you guys don't work the line and everyone stays strong and actually commits to the time frame. I mean, it's definitely. I remember just being in there I was only in there for 4 hours, but it's rough. It's actually more rough than I thought it would be.
Yeah, my back was killing me.
You're just walking in a circle, so you definitely get your steps in.
Yeah, you definitely get your steps in.
Yeah.
Sabas, first words? No?
His first words already, go fuck yourself.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, he did say, okay, go fuck yourself. Yeah, those were 3 words.
Yeah. It's more of his catchphrase.
I got you. All right, so experiences on the line. Like I said, it was tough. But it was brotherhood building, brotherhood, sisterhood,
I would definitely say
Teamster building
yeah.
moment.
It definitely was a building moment, and there was support from people driving by on the street. You know, I mean, that's good that they understand that, and they're being supportive of the people that just want basic, basic rights in their contract. So,
Yeah, and I mean, we can talk about some of the things that they were after, as far as I think most of them are public. You know, they wanted to keep their medical. Actually, they wanted a little bit better medical. The medical that they were on, they were going to end up paying really high premiums towards the end of the contract, and it just wasn't going to be sustainable.
is it like an HMO, huh?
I don't know. I know it was. They wanted to go to like a percentage based, and they were at a cap based.
Okay.
Medical.
Okay,
So
that
it
seems
just
pretty
wasn't
fair, though.
Yeah, it just wasn't going to work out. And then obviously better pay, addressing the 8+% inflation rate. Everybody is going to, kind of take a hit on that. These next coming contracts, everyone's going to want to address that.
I feel like that's definitely, not just for our local, but just like in general, like nationwide. It's like, the inflation rate, it came so aggressive and so fast that people are definitely feeling it. And I've actually seen and had friends move out of state because they just literally can't live here because it's just too expensive. So I mean, I think asking for just a little bit of money so you can continue working for that company and then making them millions and billions of dollars, I think it's a small ask.
Yeah, I don't
really
think
is.
It was that big of an ask.
Just asking for proper living wages.
Yeah, I totally understand, and I was very sympathetic to their cause, and just like I hope that they are when and if any of our other Teamster brothers and sisters go on strike.
Yeah.
Obviously, UPS has a big contract coming up, big scary one. I mean, it looks like we're kind of far apart from the company and the union stance on things right now. But
yeah, I mean, I don't. It's we're way too far to even kind of really discuss it. But I mean, at the same time, it's we need to discuss it because it's going to be vital for how the company's going to function next year and just overall. I mean, from what I heard about the last strike, because obviously we talked about this last week, is that we were both in junior high when that last one happened.
Yeah.
But I talked to some of the the veteran drivers, and they were it took more than a year to get back on track. They lost so much business because companies, regardless of whether we go on strike, they still have product they need to move. They still have things that they need to receive. So it's they don't just be hey, they understand the cause, and they're we're sorry and we feel for you, but we have to run a business here. So a lot of those companies switched over to FedEx, DHL.
I think even some of the loyal ones really, having to switch over and have the other carriers cover them for the 6 days we were out. Just the inconvenience of having to switch back over.
It's a nightmare. It's
is
not an easy thing. It's not an easy switch. It takes time and it takes a lot of effort.
And some of these companies get special rates because they get contracts. You know what I mean? They're
Yeah.
oh, you ship with us so many boxes, and then we'll give you this rate. So it's not as easy as it sounds.
No, it's definitely not as easy as you would think. And I just hope for just for simplicity's sake that everything, the contract goes well and we don't have to strike, because like you said, nobody wants to do that. I mean, nobody wants to be on the picket line, fighting for rights and equal pay, that we should just be guaranteed.
I want to strike.
Word 4 and 5. And 6.
I'm
I
striking.
want to strike.
Wow, we're gonna need a counter for your words today. Anyways, so after
We're waiting for your
it's
phrase.
funny he's going on strike. 2 weeks ago, he was talking about
We're waiting for your chant. What's your
kicking
chant
me
going
off
to be?
the show. That's the chant. The valve strikes again. Oh, fuck.
That's a good one.
So negotiations are not a hard schedule yet, but are planned for the supplementals, at least. The negotiations for UPS contract are scheduled for late January, early February. So when we get some more solid dates on that, we'll let everybody know. But That's when we're going to work on the supplementals, the Southwest and the Western supplemental. And I guess we'll go from there. You know, it's going to be a tough road, to be honest.
It's going to be a long, tough road ahead. And I know I mentioned this last week, but do we still have time for more proposals?
So proposals,
like last minute proposals,
are
that's pretty much done.
You know, if you had one, I hope you got it in. You know, it was one of the asks and one of the.
It's funny because I literally thought of one last week. Like after the proposal, I was like, "Oh fuck, this would have worked."
Yeah, right. And I mean, you know, I get it. It's just
we'll talk about it off air.
I wish we had some more participation, because that's really what the company looks at, what we look at. Honestly, you know, when we think about
for sure, because they have access. They have access to. They know who's going to be here. I know John Green mentioned that like the company sees how much participation is being held here, and you know, frankly, it was upsetting to see such lack of participation in something so big as like a contract, you know, and especially one that like we're probably going to strike over if it doesn't go well, you know. So I mean, like participation would have been great.
Some participation would be great. Sabas.
On strike.
I'm on strike.
Yeah, he's sticking to his guns.
Seriously, he's an angry little guy today. Like I said, a week ago you were talking about kicking me off the show, and now you're on strike. All right.
Right, you threw John in jail and everything.
Yeah. Speaking of jail, how was your OCTA strike experience? Any fun stories?
There was some sheriffs called out a couple times when we were out there.
What happened?
Well, let's just say there was some words exchanged, I guess you could say. So
Between who?
people that are not doing the right thing, I would say.
Scabs?
Were there scabs there?
Yeah. So
Yeah, they had some scabs there.
Really?
I heard.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
the rumor.
Shit.
So did you guys have some guys that crossed the line, or guys or gals, or?
Yeah, I was over in the Santa Ana location, and there was a few people that crossed the picket line.
Over at mine, we didn't have any.
That's unfortunate, man. Because like,
Nobody was there, John.
did I mention this on this podcast before that I actually, when I was still working in Anaheim, you know that break room in the back by the unload wall? I was in there at like 5 a.m. just going to go grab like a soda because I needed some caffeine. And there was a guy in there all by himself, right? And I was just going to go say what's up and what's up. Literally as I go to like walk up to him and say what's up, somebody walks in. They're like, "Don't talk to that fucking guy. He's a scab." So I guess like he crossed the picket line like in 97.
Really?
Yeah, and they fucking have treated him like shit since then.
was in
Because that was like 2006, I think, or 7.
Off the air, can you tell me who it was?
I don't remember his
Do I know
name.
the guy?
I don't remember his
I'm
name.
sure I know the guy. I got to.
If I probably could pick him out of a line, but I don't remember his name. And it was so I was like, I didn't even understand the term at first, and he had to explain to me like afterwards. I'm like, oh, that's.
I mean,
Fuck
you
that
know,
guy.
like tensions are high. You're talking about people's livelihoods, and you know, people
Yeah,
crossing
for
the
sure.
line, and you know, you got
It's like
these
we have a
people fighting
cause.
for. You know, what's crazy is that the people that are crossing are actually benefiting from the people that are holding the line. At the end of the day, they're still going to get that good, you know, rate and those good benefits, and there they are crossing the line, not standing with their. You know,
Yeah, and it's
brothers and
it's
sisters.
unfortunate, you know, because it's like there's a big cause, and they're just like, "Fuck your cause, I need money now," which I understand. We all need money, but it's like we need to stand strong because like the company sees how divided we are. And I know I've mentioned this before. The company's not divided. No companies are divided. They have a single goal.
yeah.
You know, and that's why like having like factions and whatnot like in the local and just dividing up the unions and the union just in general, that's their goal. They're trying to weaken everybody. They're trying to weaken.
And you know, I don't know how, to be honest, just because we run, you know, democratically, I really don't know how we would get away from the factions. I think what we definitely need to do is do a better job of putting the pieces back together.
Yeah.
When the elections are all said and done, like putting the pieces back together and getting
Getting
the
us all
same page.
fight for the same cause. Yeah, because definitely everyone's gonna have different beliefs. I mean, you can't change them. You can't make someone change their beliefs, and that's fine. You can have whatever political beliefs you want, but at the end of the day, when elections are over, the one person that's up there is up there, and we all now have to fight for the same cause because we all want the same thing, right? We all want the same thing, so we all need to stand together. So
Sabas, I don't know what Sabas wants, but
put up the sign again.
Don't tell me what to do.
don't tell me what to do. I'm on strike. Don't tell me what to do.
I'm on strike. Fuck you guys.
Put that fucking sign up.
Oh shit. All right. Well, I mean, let's talk about peak. Let's talk about peak. I know you had mentioned off the air you wanted to talk a little bit about PVDs, and I do feel like
I always want to talk about
is like a
PVDs.
fucking broken record. Like
It
I've
really
been saying
is.
PVDs like since October. Oh well, shit, since
Literally
a
last
couple
year.
of years ago, right? So I think we're all concerned for the most part. I know
Yeah.
there's some people that are like, oh yeah, I fucking get to go home at 8 hours.
You get to go home in 8
or
hours,
7.5
which
hours,
go
and,
fuck yourself.
whatever. I get it. We do have to understand that this is peak and we are trying to protect our work. I think it's a little bit selfish for people to be like, I can't work, I can't work over 8 hours and I just want to go home. So fucking bring on the PVDs. Because at the end of the day, number one, I think you're giving the company a model on how to, at the very least, hold out during a strike. They'll just flood the place with PVDs and just suck up.
I
as
believe
much
that's the
as they
goal.
can.
That's gonna be the goal.
Yeah.
So.
And then honestly, we've been hearing the argument from labor and from managers and stuff that our members don't even want the work. So why are we
mentioned
bending
that.
over backwards to, make sure that they get extra work or anything, make sure we, give them overtime or none of that. So that's been a big argument of theirs. And I don't like it. So I think,
agree.
and as a driver, I worked a lot of hours. That was me. Now, granted, I understand some people are like, I just want to work my 8 and go home. I get that.
Yeah, I get that.
At the end of the day, you file for 9.5.
Yeah.
You work 9.5, and then you go home. And that's how I've always looked at it.
And I definitely think if you definitely only want to work the 8, because I mean, obviously you're not only going to work 8 and then go home. Filing 9.5 is the way to eliminate the excess overtime, obviously. So I mean,
we did have one proposal. It was 4 8-hour requests a month, which I didn't think was too bad. I mean,
I think 4 is a little much.
it is a lot. I mean,
They might be able.
could
They
take
might give us
every
more.
Friday,
They might give us more though, or like at least one more.
2 a month. So maybe
Well,
three
because
a month.
there's already 2 a month. They might increase it by 1 because I think 4 is just a little excessive because
You
you're
can
gonna
take
have
off every Friday basically. Well,
yeah,
not
you can take off every
but you can
Friday,
put
and
an
the only
8-hour
the people who are
request
going to
every
benefit
Friday.
from that are obviously the people who have the most seniority. So you're going to give everyone that's been there for like 20 plus years, like they're not working every Friday.
Yeah. Or they're going
There's a lot
home
of
early.
things
Right.
broken with.
There's a lot of things broken.
There's a
So
lot of
that's
things broken. I
You
mean,
know what's
Yeah.
broken? My heart, Sabas.
shut the
My
really.
heart.
Did you have to do that right now? He finally started talking, and then you're just like throw salt on the wound.
with that, one of the things that I see is broken for the part timers. We have the PVDs, and I think they're even hiring the guys off the street. They're making way more money. We got
Then the part timers. That's not fair.
yeah, the
I
part
agree.
timers. Let's just say right now there's a MRA in Laguna. They're paying them $19.33 an hour. But besides that, we have some part timers that make over that amount. But yet, when they become a driver helper,
They make less.
they making less. Like, how does that even make sense?
That's why I try. Like, I know that there's guys in the hub, and I've actually had some that are actually pretty good, and now they're making more than their starting wage. So it's like I don't even want them to help me anymore because it's more stress on their body, and they're not making as much. So it's not fair. Like the hours are good for sure, but they're not making the money that they should be making.
Yeah, we got guys that been there for a while that are making over $20 an hour, right?
Yeah.
Then they go driver help and they're making
They lose
16,
$5. Yeah, they lose $4 or $5
$16.63, which
for way more stressful work.
and it's fucking stupid. I mean,
Yeah.
that's that whole PVD system and bringing people on for PC is just broken. A lot of times, what I've seen in the past years is part timers say, "Well, fuck it, I'm not going to do this,"
Yeah.
and then the company loves that because then they just bring on
More PVDs.
More
more
PVDs.
PVDs,
And that
right?
means, just so you know, the contributions and the medical and stuff. They don't have
They
to
don't
pay
have
for
to
any
do.
of that.
They don't do none of that shit.
So it benefits them. It's actually less money, even though
It
they
is.
have an MRA and they make a little bit more an hourly. They on the back end they don't. They actually save money.
Quick question: do you know that since it's PVDs, personal vehicle drivers, if they get into an accident, that's all on them, right? The company's not liable. That's what I heard. I don't know.
I would assume they're kind of like. I mean, I would assume
Because they're
honestly, I
subcontractors,
don't
right?
know,
So
but
it's
I
like-
think they're technically
Since they're driving their own personal vehicle and it's not a company car, I heard that they're completely liable for it, even though they're on company time.
I know that they do when they, when they hire you on, they do check your insurance and make sure you have valid insurance. So maybe, but I would also assume that in some aspects, UPS would still be liable if you.
They have to
got
be
hit by a
liable in some
PVD.
facet, right? There's no way that they could just be like wave you off and be like, "Sorry, dude."
Yeah, well, what if you got hit by a PVD? Right, you're driving, you get hit by a PVD, and
If I get hit by a PVD, I'm getting paid.
well, was
Sabas getting paid.
Say you max out his 15,000 or whatever it is for his insurance, for his liability insurance. So you max that out, and then where do you go? Would UPS be somewhat liable?
I
honestly don't know.
mean,
And plus,
there's
you also fucked up that guy's insurance because, like, now he got into an accident on the job, right?
He was
But he's
driving
using his own insurance, and that's a strike against his record, like on his own personal insurance and not during like the company's insurance.
I mean, the strike would be on your license, and I think.
But it's both, though.
We get hit on our license.
we get hit
as
on the
well.
license for sure, but like now it's like double at fault. So now his insurance rates are going to go up.
You mean his premiums?
His premiums are going to go up, like all that stuff. Like
He's gonna have to.
it's not like our like we get a
claim
strike.
will be
Yeah,
against him, and
Yeah.
I totally get that. And I would assume, since it's their car.
yeah.
I
That's,
don't know for sure, but I would assume. But then again, I would assume that UPS would hold some sort of liability insurance just in case.
like Uber and Lyft. I mean, attorneys go after them
Yeah.
all the time.
Yeah.
Getting back to the part time, because you guys are fucking boring.
Sorry.
Oh, sorry.
There's the floor. Floor is yours. I'm not gonna lie. I love that sign.
Yeah.
So we last Tuesday we brought our first Teamster Thursday to Anaheim.
Oh yeah.
Last Tuesday you brought Thursday.
I mean, I'm sorry. See, I'm so off. I'm so off on my days. But
No, it's
yeah,
all
we
good,
did
yeah.
a Thursday, Teamster Thursday for the preload in Anaheim.
It was a good turnout.
Yeah, you were there, George.
Yeah, I was there.
I appreciate that. Coming,
Oh.
taking the time. We were, it was.
I'm on vacay. I'm gonna support if I can.
Yeah, it was like 6 o'clock in the morning or something. I
was
forgot
early.
It was early in the morning. But we had a good little turn. I think it was about 30 members. I mean, granted, we want that to grow, and we're looking. Definitely got to do the twilights in the building. And I'll just say right now for you guys that are listening, the part timers, unfortunately, we're only going to be able to do that once a month in each sort, just for the simple fact that I got to spread myself out between both buildings. But I wish I could be there every week or every other week. But it seems like once a month for each sort in both buildings. That's where we're going to be at. There's a lot of things that we share on this podcast. And, I kind of think we kind of regurgitate a lot of stuff. But for the new people that are listening, we had an issue, and I'm going to say it again, to these part-timers. If you guys report an injury, please ask for a steward. We have a big problem with that right now. If they bring you in, they sit you down, you ask for a steward, don't answer any questions. Just ask for a steward and exercise your wine garden rights. We have a big issue with that right now because manager just comes down on you and tries to intimidate you.
They try to catch you off guard immediately.
Yeah, they want you. Yeah. They want to quiz you on a DOKs.
Yeah.
Yeah, they have all kinds of tactics on how to harass you when you get injured, to kind of deter you right from filing an injury.
Yeah.
They have always tried, and as long as I've been there, they've always tried you think if you take a day off, they try to
get
dangle that
better
in front of you.
And also during this peak season, for all the part-timers out there that are doing driver help or even double shifting, make sure you keep track of your hours. just the other day, we're in Laguna, and we had a member, and he was actually a driver, didn't get paid for 3 weeks.
Yeah, I heard. We were talking about that.
And
we're like, who's the guy?
Yeah, and then he comes up to me, and he says, oh, I got cut off my health benefits. And I said, what do you mean? And he goes, well, I haven't got paid for 3 weeks. And I said, well, did you talk to
that
us?
should have been an issue after week 1.
Yeah.
Right. And I'm like,
You went almost an entire month without getting paid.
yeah. And I was like, so did you take this to your steward? He goes, oh, no, I went to management, and they said they were going to fix it. Well, I said, well, obviously after 3 weeks, they haven't fixed it, right?
After week 1. If they didn't fix it after week 1, you go right to the steward. I mean, you should be going to the steward immediately. But if you went to management first and they didn't fix it within a week, you need to go get the steward for sure.
Just so everybody's clear, let's talk contract, right? Contractually. So contractually, with a short of pay issue. So short of pay would be, either they messed up on your paycheck, they didn't pay you for some hours, you didn't get a paycheck. It could be, a grievance that was settled and agreed to be paid, and they passed the 10 days. Now, you're short of pay, right? Whatever that is. So when you're short of pay, per the contract, you notify them you're short that Friday that you don't get your check. So whatever, if it was your check for last week, that Friday, you don't get the check, you notify them. They have 48 hours to clear it up, to get you a green check in your hand. Like, you can cash right then.
That's Tuesday.
I hear a lot of members, they complain and they go, well, I told them, and then they said they're going to give it to me next week on Friday when the checks come out. That's not how that works. So contractually, they have 48 hours to fix it. If they don't fix it, you start penalties. That first penalty falls on that 48-hour mark if you don't have the check, and then every pay period after that. So you would only collect one penalty for that first week, so it would be at 48 hours. Then the following Friday, that's another penalty. The following Friday, and so on and so forth until they fix your pay. A penalty would be if it's half your guarantee, at your correct rate. So for a full-time employee, that's 4 hours at your regular rate. For a part-time employee, it's an hour, 1.75, right? 1.75 hours at your regular rate. So that's what one penalty is. So if you have, you're full-time, you have 5 penalties, that's 20 hours.
Yeah. And even when you notify them, I still highly suggest you take a steward with you as a witness.
Oh, 100%.
Right?
Always.
And then on that Friday, they have Tuesday to pay you. That Tuesday hits, you don't get that check, you file that grievance.
Document.
Yeah.
When you go tell them, note, when I told them, who I told.
Yeah.
This is what I explained to them. This is what they told me. They're sending in an inquiry, whatever. So take notes of all that stuff.
Yeah, and even I had a new hire who was under the 70 working days come up to me, and he hadn't got paid in 3 weeks. He was missing 1 day that they shorted him. 1 day. Immediately I took him over to the stewards, and he said, I went to management. They said they were going to fix it. They didn't fix it. And just so you know, any new hires that are listening, if you're short of pay, you still need to get with the steward. Let them know. Like, I will file that grievance for you, even though you're not a bargaining unit member, because, we come to work to get paid. And you guys shouldn't be waiting 3 weeks to get your paycheck correct. So you got to let somebody know. You got to let your stewards know. I'm getting a phone call. I think they're going to release me from the strike. Let me see.
Back on strike?
Yeah. Randy from 63.
Escobar? Yeah, back to what you were saying, always bring a steward to those things. And one of the reasons is they know the rules. Even for new hires, they know the rules. Are you really taking a phone call? You put them on the phone. You might as well put them on the podcast.
Oh.
Put them on speaker.
What's up? What's the name of the new Mexican spot that just opened right here on the corner? Randy wants to know. We're filming a podcast, and I'm answering your phone call, and they're getting mad.
I'm not mad. I think it's funny. Put them on.
So, hold on.
Ask Randy if we're okay to put him on the podcast.
Randy.
Yes, sir.
This is Randy from 63. He's a business agent. And you're interrupting our podcast, so we're putting you on. You're on the podcast, Randy.
He could technically.
So you're out in our neighborhood and you're looking for a good place to eat, huh?
Correct. I'm out here in OC, man. And I'm never out here, but I gotta call the guy that I know, the OC guy.
Okay, well you're
Mr.
lucky.
Sabas.
You're lucky you caught me because I am on strike right now on the show. But there is a new Mexican spot, I believe, right on the corner of Chapman and Main. It just opened up. It's right behind the tire shop there. I can't even think of the name of it.
Is it good?
I seen it. It's right there, bro. It's
Is it
pretty
good?
new.
He asked if it was good.
If that's not open, which I know it is,
Don't
it
go
just
Super
opened
A's.
up. Go down the street and there's either Super A's on Chapman and Parker, or you can go up a little ways more and there's
he looking for a
new
sit
Hector's
down?
Mariscos right there in the orange circle.
For sure.
Okay.
All right.
Is he looking for a sit down Mexican place?
Take the time.
All right, brother. We'll talk to you.
All right, take it.
Later.
Hey, like,
See ya.
Randy's cool. He's a cool dude. We'll have to get him on one of these days.
Yeah, it's cool that he bugged us about Mexican food.
Yeah.
yeah.
Was it just Mexican food? Or did he just want a good place to eat?
Well,
good Mexican
he
spot.
doesn't live down here, so he doesn't come down here, so he doesn't really know where to go.
Where does he live?
Shit, way out there in Ontario somewhere, I think.
Yeah, he's from 63.
Yeah. He's a business agent in 63.
Well, I don't know exactly where the 63 district is. I'm just
63 is like Ontario, Riverside, San Bernardino.
like
out
Riverside County.
that way, yeah.
Okay.
San Bernardino County, Riverside
Okay.
County, out that way.
Shit.
It's
okay.
actually, believe it or not, 63 is the biggest local in the country.
Well, if you think about how big that whole Riverside and San Bernardino County is, it's massive.
And they have the room to expand. That's really what
Yeah.
happened. All the businesses went out there and shit. We have 120 feeder routes in 952.
Right around
and
there.
they have
I'm
something
sure
like
they
11,
have some.
11.
Yeah, they have like 3 times the amount.
Way more than
Isn't
three,
that fucking
like 10 times the amount.
Isn't that fucking building like Ontario one like?
Well, there's
almost
so
fully
there's like
automated?
4 buildings, I believe.
Are there?
in that,
There's
in
quite
that
a
area?
few.
So it's
Never
like the
been.
Air Building, Waka, and I don't know all the names, but there's like, I think
Empire.
Empire's in Riverside. But yeah, I mean they
I hear it's
cover a
pretty
lot of
cool, though.
buildings. But I'm saying like right there at the airport, Ontario Airport, there's like 4 different buildings right there. It's ridiculous. So it's
insane.
It's a lot.
You should have told them to go up to Havencraft off of Maine, or off of Glassell. It's pretty good. It's a cool ass bar, and it's like a gastropub kind of.
I was,
great drinks.
I was keeping him in my budget,
Oh, okay.
you know.
Taco Bell's down the street.
Yeah, Taco Bell.
Mexican? Oh, Taco Bell.
Yeah. Just hit Taco
What
Bell.
about Cali Tacos? Didn't you guys go there?
Yeah.
Cali Tacos.
Cali
is good.
Tacos is good.
That's a cool spot.
That's within your budget, I think.
Yeah.
On
super-
Friday. After
I'm super
payday.
tired.
After payday.
And if you guys haven't noticed, myself and Sabas are extremely tired. I think we're going on 20 days, something with no day off. So
You guys don't worry
Nobody gives a shit. Nobody cares.
nobody cares. I'm just saying.
I care.
I just want you to, see the bags under my eyes and be like, oh shit, that guy looks like shit. Well, I'm fucking tired. Sabas is tired too.
How many hours
That's why
you
he's
guys?
so cranky.
How many hours you guys averaging of sleep a night?
I get 5-ish.
Yeah, I did 5 last
4.
night.
Okay.
We were actually
That's actually not that bad.
we were out last night congratulating people that won our local elections here in Orange County.
Okay.
So,
County election, Santa Ana mayor.
yeah,
and
Santa Ana Mayor Valerie, congratulate her.
Congratulations.
Yeah, she grew
Okay.
up in Santa Ana and she took that spot. She won, but I think it was over like a 40%.
Yeah, she got 40%, I
Yeah,
think.
so that's huge.
40 to 28, I think was the
Yeah.
next highest.
So we were out there congratulating
margin.
people. So it's good stuff.
We kind of got distracted with your phone calls. I mean, what were we talking about?
We were talking about reporting
okay.
shorter pay.
Oh yeah. So
And
back to the shorter pay.
yeah, and just like I said, even if you're new and you're under the 70 working days and they make mistakes all the time. Any of you new hires out there, keep track of your hours. The people that are out there doing driver helper, keep track of your hours and don't let it go more than a week. Don't go just to management and think that they're going to fix it for you. You have to let a steward know right away. I think that
Like I
was-
said, they have a lot of tricks. Like, the same thing with the injuries. They have a lot of things they do. With the same thing with the shorter pay. They have a lot of tricks to get around paying penalties and, all that stuff. They try to, they say they're going to fix it, or, oh, I'm sending in an inquiry, or it doesn't matter what they do. Contractually, I don't care if they send in an inquiry, if they're asking and payroll kicks it back. It doesn't matter. If you are owed money, you are short of pay, and you will start accumulating penalties. But you need to let them know. You need to document that, and your steward knows all about that, so get with them, at least in the UPS aspect of things.
And I want to say, from what I was told, I'm pretty happy that the survey that we had here out of our local seemed like, from what I was told, the part-timers were the majority that filled out those surveys.
For contract proposals.
For contract proposals, yeah.
Yes. I will say that, too. I did look at the numbers, the raw numbers, once all the surveys were in. Turnout was low. I will say that. But that being said, the majority of the people that did take the survey that put in their proposals were part-timers. So I wonder
if that's the whole reason the turnout was low, is because there was an option to do the survey and also put in a digital proposal.
Well, the turnout was low everywhere. It was low at the meeting, and it was low on our digital survey. Now, we try to, that was a new thing we did this year. Make it electronic, make it convenient, easy, try
easy
to
access.
help everybody out, but it seems like we still didn't get the traction we wanted. And I don't know if that's just signs of the times. It seems like not a lot of people are all that involved, and UPS is just notorious. I come from there, so I'm allowed to say it. Look, UPS is notorious for not getting involved, notorious for not caring, notorious for just kind of letting things slide.
Then also notorious for being like, the union doesn't do anything for me. We don't get shit.
Yeah, for sure. That's true. But that's why we're doing these things. The one thing that I, always told myself is, or I always heard, I guess, and really it resonated with me, was you can't do the same thing over and over and expect different results.
Well, that's literally the definition of insanity.
Right? It is, right? So
the definition of insanity.
You can't do the same thing and expect different results. So we're trying new stuff. That's why we're doing the podcast. That's why Teamster Tuesdays and Thursdays, and
trying
to keep people involved.
Culture.
And we're trying to change culture. Right back to that thing again. So that's why we do that. We're trying to get people involved, trying to get people active, and all that stuff.
It's a challenge.
It's definitely a challenge.
Yeah, it's a challenge.
It's a challenge to change an entire culture that just basically they just don't give a shit about like anything. It's sad to say. I mean, I didn't start coming to general meetings until I was a steward. I had never been to one before. And
it's funny because I did want to go. There was times where I've
always wanted to go
when I was younger as a driver. And there was no way. I mean, I was working till 8, 9 all the time. I mean, back then, I know it's a little bit different now. It seems like
it's definitely we have more access to it now,
or what. But it seems like these guys don't work the 12, 14 hours like we used to. I mean, no joke. I used to work 14 hours at least a couple times a week.
That's pretty rough. I think it's just because we've had a slight decrease in volume, but they also have been hiring within the last 5 years a pretty decent amount.
And we got a lot of runners.
We do have a lot of guys that run. Please don't fucking run. Save your knees.
Yeah, save your knees.
It's a fucking long game, dude. We're playing long form chess here.
30 years is a long time.
30
guys.
years is a long time. And if you're running, your knees are gonna hate you in the next 5.
My knees hate me right now.
Yeah.
Wow. There's probably other reasons for that, John.
Fuck. Coming out with the big guns. All right. It's getting spicy. He did say he was going to be talking shit this show. I'm not going to lie.
He did.
He warned us. He forewarned us.
He fucking warned us.
Let's real quick, something that was brought up by Nick Bruno in the Teamster Thursday. So he talked about union boards. Right, and I know it's a big thing, form of communication, another way to disseminate information. Right, that's the whole point. So, the union boards. If you guys don't know where your union boards are in your shop, and this is actually for all 952 members, because all union shops have a union board. right? And that's where your BA or, your steward is going to post stuff that has to do with, union information.
Yeah,
right?
union
That's where
info.
you're going to find hopefully your general membership meeting dates and times. You're going to find, information about your barn and what's going on there. You're going to find, announcements from
Extracurricular stuff.
Extracurricular stuff.
Yeah.
Softball games. We got a lot of stuff. Picnics.
Yeah, if there's a new steward that
There's a
comes on
steward
board.
election or all that stuff, right? You're going to find it on the union boards. So do me a favor, find out where your union board is. I know for us, at UPS, there's usually one in front of every center or around
Every center, yeah.
There's usually one there. And, the stuff I have in there right now, let's just talk about that. November 19th, we have the general membership meeting. That's the next general membership meeting.
Right here.
I told my guys at Teamster Tuesday, I want to see a whole section filled with UPS. That's my goal. I want a whole fucking section within the hall just filled.
That's
with
asking a
UPS.
lot.
I got big dreams. Let's just say that.
I think we should dream big. I think we should dream big and
Shoot
just
for the stars,
shoot for
right?
the stars.
So that's the goal. But November 19th, if you guys can make it out, if you guys have kids and you guys can actually bring them. There are people that don't have babysitters or whatever, and they bring their kids.
Yeah, but they
and,
got kids here all the time.
They'll sit here and play on the phone until we do the raffle, and then they have fun. So
There's food
come on
and
out to
donuts
that.
and stuff.
Yeah, we got donuts and coffee and stuff in the morning. Also, the
They'll be giving away, I'm pretty sure, turkeys and hams
yeah,
for the
Oh,
raffle.
fucking
Yeah,
turkey.
They
for the
did that
raffle,
last
yeah.
year, so
Food drive.
Food drive.
We want to talk about the food drive. So one of our, I believe it's the women's caucus, right? That is
I believe so.
putting on the food drive.
Yeah,
So-
there's a flyer for that too. Maybe you want to
You can
post
put it
that.
up. Just
Yeah,
if you give it to me, I'll put it up right here.
We'll give you the food drive flyer as well. So there's a food drive going on, and something we do. It seems every year, and we collect $25 gift cards to grocery stores, canned food. There's boxed food, like mostly dry and canned, right? So it's not perishable. But that being said, we give those away to Teamsters in need, to families in need. I was just talking to a guy the other day who's on disability and struggling, and he needs some money. And I'm like, well, give me your information, and we'll send you a food pack from the Women's Caucus. So if you guys would like to donate, $25 gift cards is probably the easiest thing to do.
Yeah.
Get in touch with myself, your business agent, your shop steward. That's for all 952 members. If you guys want to donate, get in touch with your business agent or your shop steward. Get them that stuff. If you have dry goods, you can always drop them off at the hall. And we really appreciate it. We like to look out for our brothers and sisters in need. And there's always, we were talking about it. I was talking about with Norma, one of the BAs who heads that here. And she's just
doing
saying,
great things.
You would be surprised at even, UPSers that you think, oh, these guys are making great money, or guys at Albertsons are making really good money. Like, we don't know what somebody's going through and what their problems are.
Everyone's situation is different.
Yeah, we just don't know. So some people are in need, and they might not say anything, but if they do, or if somebody, you can always, let us know, and we'll go ahead and see what we can do for them.
Yeah. That shit always hits me right here. And people need help.
It's the old heartstrings. When this podcast comes out, I think I will be in panel the following week, and then the next week our Teamster Tuesdays are back on. So
Okay.
just so you know, and basically the goal with the Teamster Tuesdays is we're going to have it every week that I'm here.
Mm-hmm.
So, and that's in Laguna, obviously, and then Teamster Thursdays in Anaheim. But it was a great turnout in Anaheim, even for the drivers.
It's pretty good.
I think that they enjoyed it. Something new. Everybody's looking for something fresh. We don't want to do the same stagnant stuff like we were talking about. Well, since me and Sabas are fucking tired, we're gonna go ahead and wrap it up here. Any closing words? Any words of encouragement?
Just
Go fuck yourself.
well, yeah, to you guys, but everybody else.
Not to the members.
I appreciate you guys that taking the time just to listen to this. I mean, we've been, really trying to do our part to educate and change the culture. We ask a lot of these people here, just take the time to listen. George,
yourself.
yeah, you
invest in
yourself.
There you go.
You have this now on different platforms, I believe you said last time. So just, people need to invest in themselves, man. It's not too hard just to listen.
Yeah. I mean, what's an hour of your day? You can do it while you're on the job too.
Yeah.
I used to listen to podcasts all the time.
I'd listen to podcasts all the time while I'm working.
Fuck, dude. I actually, no joke, since taking this job, I really do miss the time that I had to listen to podcasts. Because, you could zone out in your resi and just fucking
Exactly.
podcasts. I used to love that shit.
Yeah.
But listen, smash the like button, subscribe. We appreciate you guys. Fuck it. We'll do it live.
Fuck it. We'll do it live.
We'll do it live.
You also can shoot us an email at ocst.000@gmail.com. View us on YouTube. We also are going to be on Spotify, Podbean, and Anchor. Still working on Steam. I know somebody mentioned about watching the podcast on Steam. So as soon as I can get all that going, I'll put the link in the description. I mean, until then.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you very much.
Fuck yourselves.
Just get that last one in there.